Songs, Stories, Lyrics, and Poems from My Muse by David Smith. Music by Christina Sergi. Since the 90s, I submitted lots of poems and stories to magazines. For several years, I bought two books, one called The Writer's Market, the other The Poet's Market. In one of the usual rejections, the editor said, "Not this time, David, but next time the Muse comes to visit, be sure to send it along." I picked right up on that Muse. I tell people my writing obsession is my muse's fault. She pushes me and gives me these ideas. Over the years I've met quite a few people and they've thought it a waste of time since I'm not making money. They can't understand that I love it and it's my happy place. Before I start work on one of my California history videos, I do a search and see how many are already on YouTube on the subject. Usually it's zero or isn't the same story as mine. I did this before I did the Doug Wildey story. When I saw there were several videos already there, I decided not to bother. But my muse had other ideas. I started work on something else, but the muse kept pushing me to do Doug Wildey. I said no. She said yes. You see who won. My muse overpowers me every time. She was right though, since I'm glad I discovered his comic book series of The Outlaw Kid. Also, the video's focus is on his Western art, which I love. It is different from the other videos available. When I was working on part 6 of Lemorfan, I got stuck. I looked up and said, "Well, come on." I got nothing. Later that day, I was outside reading one of my Western paperbacks and the muse grabs me by my ear. "Here's another story," she tells me. "It's called Shotgun Sam. The woman he's going to meet is Daisy May. He rides shotgun on a stagecoach and she's going to meet an older rancher as a mail-order bride." I got a half a dozen pages typed and she yanks me by my ear again and gives me the idea to go back to part 6. But I say I want to work on Shotgun Sam. The muse says no. I argue and the whip comes out. "All right," I tell her, "back to part 6. I finish and put that video out and started researching more in the Lopez family for that series. My muse grabs me by my ear again. "Ouch! You can't do that now. Get to work on part 7. I try to take a week off after every video. Some of them take several months, and when I finally finish, I'm tired. My time off is spent researching for another project, but that's relaxing to me. I have 5 different projects in progress. I work on each one, then the muse will tell me which one to finish. Since a lot of it is regarding the history of Southern California, it's all familiar ground. She gave me parts 8 and 9 to Lemorfan very quickly. I was real busy. I'd been thinking about doing the My Muse poem for several years, but didn't really have any ideas for the pictures to use. In between parts 9 and 10, when I found out about the Greek muses, goddesses of art and sciences, I tried to take a break from Lemorfan, but the muse said no. I couldn't even focus on reading my Western paperbacks. She was telling me to get back to part 10. If I fight her, I find that I can't concentrate on the research I need to do for my other projects. The idea she gives me gets stronger as I try to fight it. Sometimes I'll get pencil and paper and write some of it out, which seems to satisfy her for a little while, but if I ignore her for too long, she brings out the whip. As I'm working in my garden, she'll give me ideas. I'll go into the garage and write it out in pencil, hence my story years ago called El Pencilero. That ended up being the first story to get published and paid a little. I'm constantly writing lyrics. Lately it's been a verse or two at a time. If I take the time to look at it, sometimes I can piece some of them together for a whole song. Some of the lyrics I hear music for, but haven't found the chords to them all. She bounces me back and forth between my music and my stories. It's always been like this. With the songs, sometimes the chords come right along with the words. I can hear the whole thing in my head. It's an amazing experience. It's always kept me entertained, and I really get excited over it. I'm not a great guitar player. She just gives me a lot of things. On my recordings, I hired another player to do the leads, the noodling, and some rhythm. I only have one track, but I am playing. Except on Our Love Was Meant to Be. That's all my friend Paul Rasmussen. After I finished part 10 of Lemorfan, I told my muse I was doing the My Muse poem. I guess it was okay, she didn't argue. Then she gave me the next 4 videos within a week. Then this story, another idea for Lemorfan part 11, and ideas for more of my poems and lyrics as videos. I haven't posted too many of my poems, which are mostly song lyrics to me. When submitting them to magazines, once something is posted somewhere, you can't submit it to the magazine. Many of these were being sent to magazines, but only a few were published. Most of the time, I don't know where the stories or words are going. I have an idea or storyline in my head, but once I start typing, my muse takes over. It feels like it's being dictated to me. I just start writing or typing and see where it takes me. Also, this writing thing has helped me through everything my life has to offer. A new story, lyrics, poem, or song would make my day. I worked at a lot of places I didn't like. I was never interested in moving up the ladder. I was writing almost every day at most of the lunch breaks and breaks. Most of the time I'd be reading a California history book and taking notes. I told everyone I was just a nerd. They couldn't understand why I did it day after day. Some of them looked at my lyrics and stories in the 90s, then later some would look at my videos, but not everyone. Could be continued. It's out of my hands.